If you keep blaming others for your pain, you will keep giving away your power. This episode is an invitation to stop pointing fingers and start looking within. Because the moment you take responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim of it. It's not about guilt. It's about freedom. So let's talk about what happens when you stop blaming others and start living. Welcome everybody to another episode of Slow Secrets, and today I am with Yulia, my dear friend and sister. Welcome, Yulia.
Hello, everyone.
So we wanted to talk about a topic that's been coming up from us lately, is that we must stop blaming others and start taking the responsibility for our own life.
Yeah, this is actually a really big topic. My husband or my partner didn't do this, and now I'm suffering from being lonely or whatever reason it is. Or I don't know, I'm living like I am an expat wife. I'm living in Singapore for 10 years. I was mom. I'm still mom. I am mom for 2 kids, and I've been choosing to stay with kids at home and spend time with them and not really take action on my career. And it's easy to blame the system, the Singapore, that I'm moving outside of my country and I couldn't work now. But if right now I take a look at this closely, it's conscious choice of mine to be a mom. I don't know, to don't work, to choose to stay at home. And if, for example, I really wanted to work in Singapore, to be in the office, I could find a way. That's 100%.
Yeah, it's really easy to just point fingers and start, it's because of my parents, it's because of society, it's because of, my boss. It's very easy to do that instead of turning the mirror around and looking at yourself. And
when you're turning mirror around and looking at yourself in all of these actions, it gets uncomfortable to look at yourself, actually. Because when you start looking at this, in my case, I would say, for example, I was choosing to be a mom for so many years and don't really work because it was comfortable for me. I didn't want to spend time in the office. I didn't want to, spend hours doing my job. I wanted the freedom. I wanted to be relaxed and, enjoy my life.
Mm. Yes, and I think also maybe at that point of your life, this was kind of what was okay with you and what you were looking for. And I think life comes in phases, right? So for 10 years, you travel the world, and then for 10 years, you launch your own business, and then the next 10 years, maybe you're a mother. But then sometimes if you're unhappy and you don't feel fulfilled, that's when you want to kind of turn the mirror around and be like, okay, how can I reclaim my power? How in this moment can I do things and take actions so that I am content?
I'm going.
So it's more about taking radical responsibility because no one's coming to save you. And that's liberating.
This is such a hard truth. I also want to take the example from my job. Yes, actually, I used to work while living in Singapore. I used to work for the Russian company. It was kind of famous design studio. And my boss, he was, pretty straightforward Russian way of communication.
Wow.
Not right words, be late on the meeting for an hour, don't even say sorry, say something or give you the feedback of your work. Pretty, I would say, rough.
Yeah.
Because I was so sensitive, because I couldn't take his feedback on my work. I always start blaming myself. It's like, oh my God, I'm a horrible designer. I cannot do anything. And I start digging, and my self-confidence drops so low after this. Because right now I'm thinking about this. I didn't take an action of myself and didn't take responsibility of stop blaming his behavior. I didn't take my own power to say something about his action, about his behavior. I was allowing him to do what he was doing to me. For example, I don't know, 11 p.m. in Singapore. In Moscow, it's 5 hours before, right? And he was late for the meeting for an hour. It's like 12 for me. I need to wake up at 6 a.m. But I was so shy to say something, and I was blaming him for his manner.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, I didn't take my own action and my own power, and I could say, no, I'm not going to meet you at 11 p.m. I need to wake up at 6. Sorry, but
Exactly.
let's figure out something differently.
Boundaries.
Yeah, and
everything that is happening around us is teaching us something. And then I think also in my life, I've turned 40 this year. Anyway, 40, it's a decade, right? So it's like, okay, the next decade and the previous decade. And you really reflect, I mean, that's what I'm doing anyway, on the past and the present and the future. And you really start like, okay, in the next decade, I don't want to do this anymore, or I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm going to express that in a very healthy way. I'm going to say, I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's going to stop now. It's going to stop, and it's going to evolve this way. And I think also the art is in how you communicate it, right? How you speak.
How you communicate, how you speak, how you feel inside yourself, actually.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If you are really shy, for example, or you blame yourself for being too soft.
Yes.
It allows other people to behave in a certain way to keep judging you, for example, for your softness.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I don't know, maybe it's also with the age, or maybe it's with a certain personality, or maybe with a certain experience, you come to realization that even your softness, you cannot blame everyone around this. You've been choosing to be this soft person and not saying anything back in a situation where you wanted to say something better. You've been holding all of this negative emotion for the years and bubbling and bubbling and bubbling. And at the end of this, by being soft, by being not able to respond, you start blaming, for example, my boss in this situation, or I don't know, my parents for what they did. So what I'm trying to say in this, that it's like a phrase now, and also English, my second language. Sometimes it's not easy for me to.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
when I was saying how you communicate it, I think sometimes we're always fighting. You know, we're fighting, and then finally we're never really at peace. So we have this inner war of trying to prove, or trying to be right, or trying to win. But like, who are we really fighting? You know, often it's like this pain that we have that, allows us to feel on a deeper level.
Because allows us to feel. Actually, about who are fighting, I've been reading just in the book that every person has an ego inside of us, yeah? And we've been creating this ego, this kind of personality that we're believing in for so many years. And somehow this is ego that we are holding tight. This ego like to fight, and this ego like to create dramas.
Yes.
And when we look at this from the outside, this ego doesn't want to let it go, because without this drama, without this fight, it doesn't really feel fulfillment in this life.
Yes. It needs to be fed. I was watching this episode of Jay Shetty with this girl from Emma Watson from Harry Potter, and she was saying, what he was asking her, what was your download in Vipassana? I'm a Vipassana meditator, so, and she's like, I was just sitting there, and then there was all these things going on in my mind, and I was in this perfect location, so peaceful. And then she was like, it was like a revelation. It's me. It's always been me. It's always been me. And I think that the eradication of the ego. I've been practicing this for years. The best way I practice this is with my father because it's the most difficult interaction. Where my ego has been like fighting and loving and fighting and loving for so many years. And yeah, it's really nice when you can be like, okay, now peace is what's the most important. And then you start acting from kindness. So I've been practicing that. I always have like one word every year. Last year was total equanimity. This year is kindness. And through kindness and really functioning from the heart, like heart-centered, relating with, boss, staff, people, gardener, father, brother, spouse, like all of them. With that love.
Kindness if people not really behaving nicely towards you.
Yes, but they always have a reason. And now fighting a reason. Everyone is fighting a fight. Everyone has a difficult life. Some are more challenging than others. They're all, so if somebody's mean and you're going to be mean, they're going to be mean. Like if somebody's mean and you're going to be kind.
It's really hard to be mean to someone who is kind.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to fight someone who doesn't really want to fight back and prove their own point of view.
Yeah. When my brother got to Giddy Air, I had 3 rules. I told him, one of them was no fighting.
No fighting?
No fighting. One of them was no fighting. And one day someone came up to him and he really wanted to fight. And my brother was like, I was thinking about your rules. And I looked at him and I hugged him.
Hugged you?
I said, and then I smiled and I walked away. And he didn't want to fight anymore.
It's so interesting, but in my case, for example, because I was raised by my grandma for major of my the childhood, I would say, and she was the biggest inspiration and the main role for me. She raised me without fighting, to be honest. I never fight. Even it was my husband that I've been together for like almost 20 years. We maybe fight once a year. It was the most often thing that we could fight for so many years. But on the flip side on this, I realized lately, because I didn't fight, I didn't want to fight back. I was like, okay, just like I do whatever you want to do. In this case, I realized I've been start holding and collecting inside me a lot of resentment. Yeah. And with years, this ball starts like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it to the point that I couldn't hold this anymore. I just exploded.
Yes. I love this quote. Resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Because you're actually like, I'm a dragon, right? So I fight. But when I spit fire, I burn myself in the process.
You burn yourself, yes, and people around.
Yeah, I think that, yes, oh my God, run. I better run. But the thing is, I think what is important really is that resentment that we build up is also a no. We should also put a boundary to that. The fighting and the screaming is also a no. So there's like this really soft spot, where I think what is life is all about is like the search of, okay, how can I express my needs and my boundaries in a healthy way? And I think it's really
without blame.
Yeah, and I think it's really about the moment. Yeah. So my father, I take my father again as an example because I'm staying with him. So it's he came back from the golf. He had a few drinks. He's like relaxed. He comes home. I'm still working in bed, and I walk out, and he talks about his day. We sit on the terrace on the floor, watching the moon and this Bedulgul North Bali magic. There's just this magic, and we sit there and we talk, about his day, and then I'm like, okay, this is a perfect moment because he's relaxed. We had this beautiful week together. but there's a lot of things I must tell him,
That you've been holding back.
Yeah. And then I really, really, really take care about the way I communicate it without the blame, without the finger pointing. Yeah. But speaking from my truth, right? I really need to share this with you because I feel like if I don't tell you now, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life, It's important for me. And then also validating his experience. Like, this happens because of this. Yes, I validate, like, okay, of course, I understand your point of view, but hear me out because, this is my point of view. And we had this beautiful conversation about something that, as we've been struggling to talk about. And up until the point where it became a little bit too heated, and we both, like, agreed to, like, just,
Step
away from the heat. Step away from the heat. Remain in peace, And yeah.
You know what you're in. I know what you're in.
And then I take responsibility, right? I take responsibility, and I am aware of who I am and what I'm doing, and then I see what you decide and do, and whatever you do, I will support you through that because I love you. Right? And hopefully you can do the same for me.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Unfortunately, I didn't have the space for so many years. And then I chose to not really healthy way. Otherwise, I just holding everything inside myself. And I create a big ball of resentment through years. Or I just I don't know. I feel like every single month, every weekend, I'm on a holiday with the kids and you're not around, for example. I start blaming him in the sense that he didn't know he did, I would say.
Yeah. I did the same for many, many years. For many, many years.
Okay.
And I still do sometimes because we get triggered and then we explode.
And especially with the one we've been for so many years, it's really hard to know this pattern because you kind of go in this way and it goes, and some word, some look, some moment, and boom, you just explode.
It's the people that you love the most that trigger you the most, and then as a result of the trigger that you speak so wrongly to, even if you're studying communication and teaching people how to communicate better and non-violently and all of that. And then the people you love the most, where you're like, word vomit incoming. And then you're like, oh no, I really didn't want to do that. I'm so sorry. And then you feel guilty, of course. Yeah.
And I take it because it was said already and it's out and people heard this and you said it. And because you said it out, still it isn't true, but not in a nice way.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, yeah, but if I don't say it, then I'm abandoning myself. So I must say it. Yeah.
Because I've been holding this for so many years and you are so your fault.
Incoming drama queen. Incoming drama queen. But, if we find the right time, the right way, I think we can say everything. Absolutely everything. It's about timing, the way we communicate, and also being with someone that's ready to receive. So
that's ready to receive, and they also maybe understand and open to look at themselves and change. To be honest, I would say interesting perspective with my mom. My mom, most of the time, she was housewife, and because my dad, she was jumping from one city to another around Russia. I would say she chose not to work for so many years because of, they've been moving. And in their relationship, it didn't end really well because they got separated. And my mom, without the financial support, has to create everything from the scratch at the age of 50. And she's blaming my dad about all of this stuff for so many years that he did.
Yeah, there's so much blame around the world. So much.
Every time when she's giving me this, the reason and blaming my dad in front of me, I'm getting so triggered that I stop really being able to receive her. And in this case, when I said again, I see really a strong pattern of self-pityness and blaming someone else without taking action and taking responsibilities for yourself. It's actually, I was the one who chose to be, I don't know, at home. I was the one who chose, I don't know, find always the reason to not do anything. But now when I hear it's like, this is him, and this is all about like his actions. And I was like, no.
Yeah. I think patterns and trauma are something really big. And I think into our somatic nervous system, a lot of these things are just intertwined from the past, right? So if I see today my reaction towards, my father, I just feel very deep inside that my inner child years ago, from wedding number 1, then wedding number 2, wife number 3, wife number 4, like every time felt abandoned, right? So it's and then now I don't go, you should give me more. No, I sit with it on my mat, and I sit with my inner child, and I hold her, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to abandon you again, like I'm gonna be here for you, and if you manage to understand the trigger, and especially to understand where it's coming from, it's kind of like the universe is gonna put you into a loop until you heal. You like, I got it, and I heal it, right? Otherwise, you're gonna keep reproducing the same loop over and over again, and you'll get to a point where, you need to look at your shit, and be like, okay, this is me. This is actually my blueprint. This is my star chart. This is why.
Yeah, and I understand also in this case what I hear from what you're sharing, that you understand all of this, you feel this abundance, and somehow you want to get probably the high chance from your dad acknowledgement that yes, this actually happened. But sometimes in these cases, those people that we want to deal with the conflict, whatever it was for so many years, are not really able or ready, or just they don't see it.
Yes, and also they have a different perception. They have a different perception. My father would say, yes, but Julia, I'm trying to create a family for us. We are going to be a family. Like his perception is different, and you're not wanting to be part of the family, like his perception will be different than my, yes, but we already have a family, Dad. Like I want to nurture my relationship with you and with my brother. Like otherwise we're always recreating the projection of the other, right? And it's about, okay, I understand your family vision. Of course, it's great.
And still, I felt what I felt. It's still there.
Yes, of course. It's still there. Yes, but it's more about, I don't think I don't think the solution of the problem is in my father. The solution of the problem is in me.
I would say yes and no in this case, because it was from the childhood. Like, what could you say when you're that young? It's something that you realize when you're older.
It can be for anything else. It can be for my business, and my business partner is never here, and I'm doing everything, and I am, it's not inside of my business partner, it's inside of me. Like, okay, you have been robbed of your freedom, but you're also a really kick-ass entrepreneur, and you have everything everyone possibly could dream of. So it's again about contentment. I put it on my little hand so I remember, I am enough, I have enough, and I do enough. It's like, stop digging into the past. Awareness without action becomes another trap. So realize your patterns.
No, but you cannot get out of this loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like,
but stay
like a hamster in the wheel.
Yeah, stay analyzing, stay revisiting, stay talking, but time to live differently.
But and see differently and feel differently the same. Yeah, actually, I quote Yulia.
Yes.
And I'm exactly because I have kind of the same, I would say, the experience with my like husband who's been like working so hard for so many years to like create the dream life for the kids and for me that we don't really need to think about anything. But I still felt abandoned for so many years because he was working so hard. And I was like, okay, I'm the mom, I'm at home. Like, I don't know. I don't want him to wake up in the middle of the night while kids are sleeping. And I was just like putting this away, all of this stuff, thinking that I'm doing the great job, ending up hurting myself, ending up the one who isn't happy with the structure that I unintentionally created.
Absolutely.
And allowed. And allowed. Yes.
Absolutely. I just, it's really the key is to start acting from presence. You know, instead of reacting, you know, just pause and then asking, okay, what would awareness do right now? You know, that's like the shift of being like less dramatic and being more in truth. And being less in the noise, but more in the peace.
And from the peace taking action, that actually really helpful you.
Yes, because there, you know, in your heart, you already know, deep inside of your heart, nobody needs to teach you, not the shrink, not the coach, not that they can hold space for you, but eventually it's you. You already know deep inside of yourself. That's the answer. We don't need to tell you. But you must take the time to sit and listen, or run and listen, or climb a volcano, or run a ultra trail marathon of 120K, whatever, to be, you know, with your subconscious and to listen.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's not outside. It's never been outside. It's always been inside.
It's everything in your brain.
It's too easy to like go. You can go through life pointing fingers, you know. But it's so much
so easy to poison everything around. Yeah. I don't know. You didn't read my mind. I don't know. You didn't spend a lot of time with me as a parent. I don't know. You talk to me as a boss in a shitty way.
Yes. It's so easy.
Everything, what is happening in the world, like how you perceive this is only one point how you see everything.
Yeah.
Because other people have in the same situation, completely different experience and completely different understanding with the history of he or she like went through for the past few years or in the moment, right? That we are so, actually, we're so self-centered.
Yes.
And so selfish.
Oh, I can be so selfish. Oh my God. Really? And then I'm like, okay.
That we're thinking that everyone should think about us and we are getting annoyed, triggered.
Yes.
Angry that someone didn't think or did something even if we didn't ask for it. Yes. Yeah, I've had like few conflicts on this. Like, I don't know, didn't message me for a few hours and I'm already in the pool.
Oh my God, I can go crazy.
That's crazy. I was making not me down. It's just like it's a huge of the end of the world created in your head. Basically, oh, I'm sorry, I lost Wi-Fi. Then you already broke up with the person, divorced and left the country.
But you know, I put a boundary to that now. I express that to my partners. I'm like, I'm sorry, I need a reply within 24 hours. Like I need that. Like I can't be with someone that's like not going to reply for 5 days, like read the message and then not reply for 5 days. I go crazy. So I'm like, okay, I need to be with someone who replies, you know, at least in the next day or, you know, I mean, I receive a message, I'm happy, I want to reply. I'm busy now. Okay, I go to sleep, I'm too tired. The next morning I wake up, I go to work. But the next evening, I take the time to reply. If you're not like that, then we can't be together. I'm sorry, because I made a whole freaking story in my mind. Yes. And I don't want to be that version of myself. And that's okay, right? I mean, it's okay to express that. I believe it's okay to express that. And then they also know, like, okay, she's like that.
And this is also, it's really nice to understand it in yourself and deliver it to your partner.
Yeah. And say, I am aware I'm being a drama queen. I'm aware, but it's just who I am, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I need people to... I mean, I think that's okay. But yeah, so, I mean, everybody is unique in their own way. And I think there is a lot of very quirky things like this where we can be like, okay, I love myself regardless of that. You know, I look in the mirror and I'm like, okay, you really fucked up, but it's okay. I love you anyway. Like, it's fine. We're just humans, you know, we're just trying our best, you know, as long as we're acting from...
with what we have, yeah.
Yeah, as long as we're acting from loving kindness and we're not like being, you know, then yeah, you go crazy. Okay, but we're just human, you know? I think it's okay. And we grow through relationship. So the fact that we are in relationship with our fathers, with our spouses, with our brothers, that we're gonna grow in relationship.
That helps to know. Yeah, I had a funny story now actually in the airplane. My son, he's 12 and my daughter, she's 6. And of course, I mean, all the time. And he like grabbed something from her. She started crying, like hit on him in the plane. And I was like, Artyom, if you want something, can you just like ask her, then wait for her response and then take the action? And
nice try.
Yeah. And I told this to him. He's like, okay, I hear you, mom. And then he started like, he does drums and he started doing this on the plane. And I was like, I grabbed his hand and I was like, could you please stop? It's too loud. And he's like, Mom, actually, you need to ask her, then wait for my response. And he gave me exactly the same. And I was like, and I get quiet. And I was like, he's right. I did exactly the same what he did.
But that's so beautiful.
Right now, and I was like, oh my God.
Children are the greatest teachers. They just like call us on, you know, I love spending time with children. They just teach me so many things about myself, you know?
Especially if
receiving and being like, yeah, okay, yeah. Because obviously they learn by imitating, right? So they often imitate the parent. So of course, what the parent does, the kid does, and then it
learn the behaviors
around towards you, and you're like, whoa, that's a mirror, you know? And I find that so interesting.
It's annoying, this mirror sometimes.
Oh, it's so annoying. You know what? Like, ignorance is bliss. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, it was so nice to talk with you about this beautiful topic. And to close, would you like maybe to say one word? Hello. One word to our listeners.
One word to our listeners, that every time when you feel triggered, when you feel angry, or some negative thoughts in your head start creating this like uncomfortable physical feelings in your body, take a pause. Take a pause for a moment, maybe for a few hours, depends on how strong this feeling is. And actually analyze why you get triggered. Is it really person did something wrong, or is something that brush up some your old patterns? And
your daughter, she's so cute. Yes, I agree. It's so important. And also, what I would say is to practice empathic listening. So if something is coming up and you feel that you're going into reaction, pause, and balloons flying. And then just kind of take a moment to say, okay, I'm going to listen to you for 6 minutes. And then you're going to listen to me for 6 minutes and we're not going to reply. We're going to sit on it, sleep on it. And then next week, we're going to reopen this conversation when we are, we've had time to kind of think about it and let it land and not
Like
the action.
A lot of conflicts.
Exactly. Right? It's also not easy because sometimes you just go up and then, woohoo, let's fight. Yeah. But I think, that's to pause and then to practice empathic listening, I think are two things that have changed my life.
And so reflection of why you feel what you feel.
Looking at inside. Stop blaming others outside.
Stop blaming outside. And really uncomfortably sometimes look at yourself.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Yulia, for being part of our podcast. If people want to find you, where can they find you? I really love your Instagram because I'm an entrepreneur and I work all the time because I love it. But I have many back problems and you just share all these really cool yoga tricks to do in office. And I just really love it. So please share that with our listeners so they can follow you too.
Yes. Actually, I'm a yoga teacher now for a couple of years. Changed my profession from designer to yoga. And this is my passion now. This is what I'm doing now, to find easy tools for people to actually improve their health.
Yes.
So,
and you're also going to do an online course, right?
Yes, I'm working on an online course now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I will share that in the comments, and it's at Yulia. Your Instagram.
Actually, it's Soy Molten. This is my family name from my father.
So I will link this in the comments. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, love from Bali.